Guys, welcome back to another market overview. Welcome if you're new. I really appreciate you being here. I was gonna make a video yesterday, but I didn't. Life got in the way. Today it's Tuesday, 12th of April, 2016. I took a few trades yesterday. They did not go well, and that's just how the cookie crumbles. Well, I'm exaggerating. They did actually. We got out. We were break even. Lost one or two, or we'll just go over it here. Yes, I am currently on my laptop. I am visiting my mom in the countryside here. I have no equipment, nothing. I don't know even if you guys can hear me or if the sound is okay. I hope it is, and I hope you appreciate that I'm doing this video, even though I'm just on my laptop. So the quality, or actually I don't know how it will play out, but we're going to start today. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you guys about last week. I posted that I had a good last week. Last week I gained 383 pips, right? So that's a fair week. I only think it was about it was 4 trades, 4 or 5 trades. I don't quite remember. 4 or 5 trades. I had all winners, no losers. Sorry, drinking my coffee here. One trade I got out with a half a position and then got stopped out by break even, and that was fine. But overall, last week a winning week, 380 380 pips. So I was quite happy with that. Yesterday I posted this on TradingView. Let's refresh this so I can show you guys. We had a flag pattern on the 1 hour, and it looked something like this. This is the 4-hour chart. We had a flag pattern right here, and I posted the risk to reward on both the flag, and we also had a bat pattern on the flag and the bat. I did not get involved in the flag, since you know I don't only trade flags just because they are flags. I didn't really have anything else. I didn't have the RSI or anything with me, so I didn't get involved in the flag. I did get involved in the bat pattern here, and as you can see, the flag pattern gave some who got involved decent amount of pips. It was 103 pips just on this one trade, and if you're holding that, then you're still in it. I got involved in the bat pattern right here, and currently I am losing. So that's what's up with this is the one trade I have on right now. This is TradingView. I don't really get what's happening with this thing. I always have to refresh when I go into new tabs, but we'll make it work. I've actually sent them a email about it, and then it did. I couldn't post anything, but I did actually clear my cache on the browser thing, and that was something. But anyway, this is this is one of the trades I got involved yesterday. It was a bat pattern on the Euro USD. We did get target 1 and then got stopped out. I was actually hoping to get really short right here, and this would be my entry reason. because I believe that as you can see, we're in this red box we drew a while ago, and you can see that the market has just been bumping up into that red box and then plummeting back down. But we got stopped out right here because I moved my stop to break even right here. And this is actually quite a decent candle to actually go short again with, but I missed it. I got stopped out when I was sleeping, so and there's basically no reason to go short right now other than just to go short. So I'm gonna wait it out, try to get another entry to go short on the Euro USD. So let's continue. There's nothing on the pound that interests me. Let's check out the dollar yen. There is a Gartley pattern right here, a small. I don't really feel like leading all these lines, but you can see it right here. There is a Gartley pattern right here setting up. So if you guys trade the Gartley, prepare yourself for this pattern right here. And that's about, I mean, we have the structure point right here. So this could be a decent opportunity to go short. Let's continue. The pound yen. We have a lot of patterns setting on the yen pairs. Here we have this was supposed to be a bat, right? I just forgot to. Yeah, there's a bat pattern here on the pound yen. I'm interested in this one. Like you see, we have the structure point right here, come right up into it. I'm hoping that the market will push a little higher for me to get my entry on the pound yen. Yeah, I wanted to explain a little about the advanced patterns or the improved patterns, about how to find them. I got a question about how to find them, and as I explained in my videos, I prefer to use the most obvious points of structure because we can always force a pattern to be a pattern. That meaning, technically, I could draw things from here right now and get a Gartley pattern, and that's okay. That is technically right. So what I want to go over is when is it not too okay to force a pattern. So let's pretend that this market right here doesn't exist. So if the market, I'm going to draw in a fake market right here. If the market is looking something like this, these arrows are the current market, right? So the market is here, once up, down, and then comes up right here, and then it falls down. In this case, you can obviously see that this point right here is the most obvious point of structure, right? Because we have nothing right here, and the market comes up, finds its resistance points or something that happens right here, and then falls. In this case, I would not use this point right here, right? Why? Because, like I said, this is the obvious point of structure. Doesn't mean that this isn't technically right, but if this scenario happens right here, I am looking for this obvious point of structure, right? When the market is doing something like this, when it's in this downward spiral, like it is right here, that's another thing, right? Because I have structure points and I'm looking for maybe a chance to go short on the, let's check out the 4 hour. And I'm looking for a chance to get on this trend right here, for example. So this would be something like, this would be one move, oops, like so. and this is the outside return, and I'm looking for this, right? That's another story, because I am looking for an entry on, and I'm using the downwards moving market in order to get short. This is technically still technically, because you can't really say that this is the obvious point, or this is the obvious point, or this is the obvious point. This is the obvious point, right? As you can see, the market comes up, finds the point right here, and then goes down. But all these little points are, if we could say, equal in importance when the market is behaving like this. So I hope I'm making this. I hope I am explaining this well. But it all comes to the obvious point of structure. So if you have the market doing something like this, like so, or in this case right here, this is the obvious point of structure. And why is this the obvious point? Because your eye is clearly drawn to this point right here. But of course, like in the market, we go down, and we have outside returns, and we have these small pullbacks. And what I mean by forcing a pattern is that I actually have another example on this. Where was it? Let's continue just going through the market, and I'll try to find it. Yep, right here. So, like here, we have multiple points of structure. We have right here, we have this one, we have this one, we have this one, right? So, which one to choose? We have 3 structure points. In this case, I am taking this point right here. It's not always the highest point. Don't mix it together and think that the highest point is always the most obvious point. But in this case, it is the highest point that is the most obvious point, because the market goes down a little, then comes up, goes down a little, then comes up. I can choose this one, this one, this one. I mean, in this case, it doesn't really matter, because it's a pretty small difference. But I implore you to stick with this obvious concept, and try to find always the most obvious point of structure. Because let's say that this wouldn't meet my requirements, this point right here, I would get and people would get tendency to just move a little down, make it work. If this one doesn't work, I'll just move it right here and make it work, right? That for me isn't quite how it works. I try to find the most obvious points, and that's because these patterns right here aren't something that it's just made up just to look like this. These are the patterns are. This is a combination of structure and Fibonacci, right? And we have to make the structure work in order for the pattern to work, right? I hope I'm explaining this like it should be. So, anyways, we can continue on to the Euro Yen. We have the bat pattern here, the bigger bat pattern right here. We have the smaller Gartley pattern right here. Inside this bat pattern, and as you can see, we have the most obvious point right here drawn. We have 2 obvious points, 2 patterns in, and that's often the case. We have patterns inside patterns, so it just becomes a matter of trading. You can trade the Gartley and you can trade the bat, but you must prepare for a loss on the Gartley if you want the bat to be hit as well. So, and that's the problem with trading all the patterns. You sometimes get into these scenarios where you have to choose your entry. You maybe have the the cipher and the bat and even the Gartley pattern all in the same spot or in the similar spot, and then you will have to choose which one you want to trade, and that's something you gotta do, and you'll do that when you're setting up your trading system or your strategy. So I'm not trading this Gartley right here. I missed the entry, but I would have traded it only because I like this level right here, this red line right here, and you can see we started to drop a little, but not much more value in this small pattern right here. I really like this bat pattern as well, so we can watch and see. Continuing on to the New Zealand dollar, we have a lot of patterns this week. This is the bigger 4-hour pattern. The reason I say this is a 4-hour pattern is because I hate it when people are drawing in patterns and just go huge. They're taking the patterns on the 1 hour just to make the risk to reward, or they don't want to risk as much. But obviously you can see that this is a larger pattern on the 4-hour. Cipher a few pips away. This is an old one. This is the discussion we had last week on trend lines. Are we gonna move the trend line just to about here, or are we gonna keep it right here and consider this broken and broken again? It's just a matter of perspective, guys. I can make this work like so as well, right? If I move the line a bit, the trend line has not been broken, so make sure you. And I'm seeing this these discussions on trend lines over and over again on the internet, and just make sure you are being careful when trading these trend lines. Great tool to help you guys finding the direction and stuff like that, but trading it all by themselves, I don't recommend that. But in this case, we are just making that trend line work for us. Let's continue. The dollar CAD. I don't have. Yes, I am involved in the dollar CAD on the bat pattern. You can get involved if you want on the bat pattern. With a better risk to reward. It's not broken the X-lag, so if you want to get involved, do so right now. I am trading this off the 4-hour as well. Dollar CAD, the Aussie dollar CAD, I don't have much on that. We have the broken trend line, and yeah, we had this. Did we have this discussion about the ABC last week? Don't remember, but we had the ABCD right here, and we have obviously this point inside these two lines right here. So if you are wondering about if this is a pattern right here, make sure you check out your data on this trading view. These tops right here just come right next to each other, so it's not valid on trading view, but check your data. This could be a bad pattern. A nice opportunity right up in this point right here to get short, and like I said, with the discussion on the obvious points of structure in this downwards moving market right here, this is a valid structure point, right? If this would to look like this would be the most obvious point of structure. If this were to look like, let's just disregard this, look like, let's say this is the current market, this would be my most obvious point of structure, and this would not be, right? So I hope that is getting through to you guys. The Aussie dollar got short on that yesterday and got kicked in the nuts. Did not get target 1, so this was a pure loss. This was the only pure loss I had yesterday, I believe. So that's okay. This is a bad pattern with, as you can see, it's pretty funky looking. And I trade the bad pattern with the 38 BTC. So that's the reason why it's so funky looking. But yeah, that's about for all for this week. Obviously, I'm still going to have the live room thing as I've been talking about. But as I said, I am currently in the countryside visiting my mother, and I will not be doing the live room from here. So I will be back, I think, tomorrow or the next day. So let's just shoot out making the live room on Friday or Thursday or something. So I'll let you guys know. So until next time.